Okay, hey, welcome to another Johnson County EMS Division Training Section CME session. I'm your host, Captain Dale Johnson. This is a special session, and we're going to be talking about the new DUCANTO suction catheter that we're getting ready to trial. And we're going to mention a little bit about salad airway management, which is a really good technique for the stuff that we encounter. So let's get right on into it. What we're going to talk about, I'm going to introduce you to the DUCANTO catheter. We're going to compare the yank hour that we're using now to the DUCANTO, and you're going to see a demonstration with the DUCANTO using an iGel and with endotracheal intubation, and then I'll talk to you about the trial that we're going to do. The DUCANTO suction catheter developed in 2016 for contaminated airway clearing. In other words, getting all the chunks and gunk out of an airway, typically what we see. Now, it was not developed for EMS. It was developed by Dr. Canto, and he's an anesthesiologist, and that's what it was originally designed for. But it was specifically designed for airway clearing. The picture on the left, you can see at the top is the current yank hour, and notice there's not a whole lot of curve to it, whereas the DUCANTO on the bottom, it's got a significant curve that kind of helps follow the airway. If you look on the picture on the right, you can see the difference in the diameters of the opening, the distal opening, and you can kind of see how well it works. Um, the yank hour just has a smaller port. Talk about that more in just a second. The yank hour that we're using, it was developed by Sidney Yankauer around 1907. He was a surgeon, um, oral and neck surgeon, and it was designed for use during procedures to suction blood and the secretions that come up, but it was never intended to pull up any chunks. Okay, it was designed specifically not to apply enough suction for pulling up clots after a procedure is over with. Back, it seems like it was late 80s, early 90s when it was decided we needed to have a rigid suction tip, and there were some other ones around. We're not even going to get into all that, but the Yankauer was one that everybody seemed to be familiar with or knew of, and here we have it. One of the constant things I hear concerns expressed about over the last decade or so is that the Yankauer does not do a good job in managing and cleaning the airways that we encounter. It wasn't designed to. Now, what some people will do is they'll take that tip off and just push the tubing down, and if that works well, it pulls up a lot of stuff. The problem is, A, that tubing is very, very flexible, and you can kink it real easy. And because it's flexible, it can attach itself to the side of the oropharynx, or down, around the esophagus. It can attach it to the walls there, and then you're not pulling anything up. You think you've got really a whole lot of suction going on, and there's nothing going on. It's just pulling on the side of the oropharynx. Another picture of them. This is kind of a close-up of that other one. You can see the difference. And then here, the Yankauer's got a 3/16 diameter opening. That's what we use now. That is the one we use. And then the DUCANTO's got a 1/4 inch. Doesn't seem like much. It's a 1/16 inch opening. But my firefighters will know all you have to do is go from 1.5 inch to 1 3/4 inch fire hose, and you practically double the amount of water that you're flowing. It's the same principle here. You only go up a 1/16 of an inch, but you vastly improve the amount of emesis and stuff that you can pull up. Some of the advantages, again, the large distal opening, so you can get chunks up. There was a demonstration that I watched down in New Orleans at EMS World Expo where they took some chicken noodle soup, some crackers, and I think it was a mashed up banana, and added a little bit of water to it. It had a really foul smelling concoction. And the Yankauer did not pull very much of it up, but the DUCANTO pulled every bit of it up. All right, so pretty neat stuff. talked about it, the curved design also allows for leaving in place. It follows the curvature of the oropharynx and hypopharynx, so the design allows it to be left in place to continue suctioning while you're placing your airway. And it doesn't have that little port on the side like the Yankauer does, so just as soon as you connect it and you turn your suction unit on, you have a vacuum going. You don't have to worry about covering up that little port. All right, so that really makes it uniquely perfect for what we do. The salad airway technique, again, Dr. DUCANTO developed it. Suction assisted airway laryngoscope, airway decontamination. Works with any airway management technique, OPAs, iGels, Kings, ETI. Even though it wasn't designed for EMS, it is especially suited for the pre-hospital environment. So what I'm going to do now, I've got a video that I'm going to show you. It's a demonstration of the DUCANTO with an iGel.
So what I'm going to do is activate my suction, and I'm going to place this supraglottic airway after I decontaminate this airway. I'm holding the suction catheter upside down so that this matches the patient's oropharyngeal anatomy. If I ask you, Peter, with your fingers to close the mouth of the mannequin like this, can you do that for me?
Yep.
Okay, so what I can do with this is if I make a fist, I may not have a lot of strength in my arms, but what I can do is keep the arm connected to my body and kind of lean in and push the tongue and jaw down to put this in. I'm going to push this in, and then I'm going to move the suction out of the way so that the iGel can make its final contact with the hypopharynx. This is a contaminated supraglottic airway. So what I'm going to do now is the demonstration of how to decontaminate this. I have a flexible catheter and I have a rigid catheter. This is how this is going to go down. If it's easy peasy, I'll just do this, but what I really want to do is go down the side of the supraglottic to the hypopharynx, and then I want, just what I did with Jennifer, is I want to unshake her hand, get the hypopharynx.
So what he does in this place, in this particular instance, he withdraws the iGel just a little bit, and he places the distal end of the suction tip down in the hypopharynx, where all that stuff is coming up from the esophagus, probably whatever has already gotten into the lungs. He's also working on getting that out as well.
Then I want to reseat the airway. I'm just going to leave this in for now next to the airway and run the suction catheter down all the way to the bottom. Then I take this off of that one, suction the lumen, and go.
At this point, he is ready to go back to start ventilating, and he can go ahead and ventilate from there, and the DUCANTO can be left in place. Okay, and then here is a quick video of the DUCANTO being used with endotracheal intubation. All right. Okay, this is a demonstration while performing endotracheal intubation. To kind of set this up, you're going to hear a pumping sound in the background, not just a suction unit, but another one, and that's this large box on the right-hand side of the screen, and that keeps producing emesis in the airway, so they have to suction it out. What you'll see is they're getting ready to pull the OPA, and then the other medic will come up and he'll start to suction the airway.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay, notice he is on the right-hand side of the airway to the right of the laryngoscope, and he's looking and he's cleaning everything out. He's placed that all the way down at the tracheal open and the esophageal opening. Now he switches over, he puts it down on the left side of the endotracheal blade, and he's got his bougie preloaded with an ET tube. Goes in. Alright. He'll set as 2.
Okay, that sounds good. Alright.
Notice that during this entire process, the suction unit, the suction tip, is to the left of the laryngoscope blade, and he is pulling up emesis and other airway contaminants. He's bringing them up while the intubation attempt is going. And then you'll see here, alright, and he's set. Alright, so the DUCANTO trial that we're going to do, we're going to place these catheters on EMS31, EMS32, and Medic 1. Alright, there'll be one in each portable unit, suction unit, one at each onboard suction unit, and one in the cabinet on the ambulances. And of course, Medic 1 is going to have one on their portable suction unit, and there will be some extras available in the Medic 1 office. So when you're going to use the DUCANTO, anytime you're suctioning a patient, okay? If you've got to manage an airway, you probably need suction, so have it ready to go. All right, and it does work with BLS airway management. So if you're in a situation and you've got emesis coming up and your EMT is up there and you can't get an I-gel right then, you can go ahead and suction this, you know, while you've got the OPA in place. It works really well with that too. We're going to do some on-duty training with the crews of 31, 32, and Medic 1. You got to review the video, and if you've gotten this far, you've reviewed the video. There's hands-on training that we're going to do each morning of those 4 shifts, and then once we've gotten training completed on all of them, then we're going to place the devices. And then there's going to be a little quiz you got to take. Got to be a quiz, so we can get you some CME education for that. So any feedback you have, good, bad, indifferent, send it to me. Send it via email, not text or phone call. Send it to my email. That is the most reliable way to get hold of me. That goes straight to my phone, and for whatever reason it goes through when text and phone calls won't. Okay, so make sure I get feedback on any problems you have, any revelations that you have, anything, let me know. And we're going to see if this device is an improvement over the current Yankauers. I think it is, but we'll see how it goes. All right. If you have any questions, give me shoot me an email. You can try to call me. You can try to send me a text. But if I hadn't responded in a little while, send an email and let me know that you already sent a text and I hadn't answered. All right. So with that, the DUCANTO trial will be underway shortly, and hopefully we'll discover something good. So until the next time, you guys be safe, be nice, and we'll see you later.